In this video, I'm going to discuss my free agent targets for the Denver Broncos for this upcoming 2025-2026 season. Everybody, well, a lot of people are putting out their suggestions and things, and we respect them all. This is just my perspective on where they need to go. Before I get started, I'm just going to go over some of the football cards that I have in my collection. I haven't looked at these things in a while, but as you can see, there's a Daryl Green card, Warren Moon, Steve Largent, Drew Bledsoe, Barry Sanders, Quadri Ismail, Jerry Rice, Herman Moore, Deion Sanders. But anyway, I'm going to get down to the video here. Appreciate you watching. So going over the Broncos schedule from last season, I'm going to take a look at some of the games that they lost. Week 1, they were still developing, and they lost to the Seattle Seahawks 26-20. Week 2, they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers 13-6. Week 6, 23-6 loss to the Chargers. Week 9, put an asterisk next to that one right there because that wasn't even close, but it was 41-10 loss to the Ravens. Week 10, they lost 16-14 to the Chiefs. That was on that field goal attempt that wound up getting blocked. Week 16, 34-17 to the Chargers. Week 17, 30-24 to the Bengals. And in the wild card, they kind of got annihilated by the Buffalo Bills, 31-7. But still, overall, it was a great season, and kind of looks like the season that the Detroit Pistons are having this year as well. A lot of people didn't have the expectations for them to be, if anything, significant, but they really shocked a lot of people, as did the Broncos last season, by making it to the playoffs. And the reason I put down these scores is because a lot of these games were close, and they had the potential to win those games. But if you want to change that for this upcoming 2025-2026 season, then there are some free agent targets out there that would more than likely turn some of those L's into losses. And the reason I say that is because if you take away some of the possessions or some of the extra chances from the opposition, then these scores turn the other way and these games turn the other way, with the exception of the Ravens and the Bills games. But we'll get to that a little bit later. But here's my list as far as what they need, or players that I would go with and target in the free agent market here. So starting off here, I'm going to go with defensive end Chase Young from the New Orleans Saints. Had 21 solo tackles, 5.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 6'5", 265. Broncos always had a way of adding defensive free agents, and those have been some significant acquisitions during those championship years. Next one I will go with would be linebacker Mykal Walker of the Washington Commanders, 6'3", 230 pounds, 15 assisted tackles. You need someone to stop the run. A lot of these games, the running backs were just going wild, running up the middle. So if we could stop some of that, and like I said, in some of those extra possessions, then it would be fine. Also had 8 solo tackles. Moving down, Khalil Mack is one of my favorites, 33-year-old vet, 6'3", 269 pounds, had 20 solo tackles, 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. You put him and Chase Young on that defensive line, then that's going to turn around a lot of those close games. You get those to guys to go after those quarterbacks, like I said, in some of the losses that they had. You get them to go after the quarterbacks, like the mobile quarterbacks, like Patrick Mahomes, the Buffalo Bills. What's his name? I'm sorry, this is early in the morning. I'm doing this here. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson for the Ravens. So you get these guys on there to intimidate them from taking off running, then that'll eliminate some of those losses to those overly powerful ranked offenses. So you wouldn't have a problem with dealing with the Patrick Mahomes Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. Moving down the list, I believe this will be a significant pickup for them. And I also had Lions too, because I'm a Detroit Lions fan as well. We'll be picking up tight end Tyler Conklin of the Jets. That is something that I've heard a lot of the Denver Broncos broadcasters or the podcasters say, is that we do need a tight end. And out of the Jets organization, 6'3", 248, 29-year-old, had 51 receptions for 449 yards, 4 touchdowns, 8.8 yards per catch. So we do need a big bruising tight end out there, to help us on those 3rd and 2s or the 3rd and 7s, to keep the offense on the field and keep the defense on the field as well. I do say re-sign Lil'jordan Humphrey. Also say make a run for wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster, the Kansas City Chiefs, 6'1", 215, 28 years old. Had 18 receptions, 231 yards, 2 touchdowns, 12.8 yards per catch. He's not getting all the hoopla that he was when he was playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I still think that he would be a great acquisition for the Denver Broncos. Moving on down the list, we need to preserve the career of Bo Nix, which means to keep him in the pocket a little bit longer so that he doesn't get one of those weird injuries from scrambling. And I would say guard Patrick McCarry, 6'4", 305 pounds, 27-year-olds, provided protection for Lamar Jackson there with the Baltimore Ravens. I think that would be a great pickup as well. Moving down on the defensive end, we'll get defensive end in Dwayne Smoot of the Buffalo Bills. Now, I had him a few years ago when I did one of these videos for the Broncos. 6'3", 264, 29-year-old, had 12 solo tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. I think that will be a great acquisition as well to the defensive line. Moving down, and I do want to give a shout out in this video to Motor City Sports Talk, because he had a video this morning discussing the need to have quote unquote not choir boys on the team, so to speak, but you got to have someone on there who kind of like I don't know what you would call it, but you want to have someone on the team who's kind of controversial and kind of like a rebel, so to speak. And I say sign Kareem Hunt, running back, play with the Chiefs, 5'10", 216, 29-year-old, 200 rushing attempts, 728 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3.6 yards per carry. That's one thing that the Broncos have been missing these past few seasons, has been a dominant running back. And I believe Kareem Hunt, even with all the trials and tribulations that he's going through, will be a great acquisition for the Denver Broncos. So let me know out of this list of players who would be your top 3 that you would pursue as far as free agency is concerned for the Denver Broncos. And I do appreciate you listening. Y'all have a good day.